Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Thursday, November 10, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Carolina Panthers vs Atlanta Falcons. On the year, the Falcons enter Week 10 30th in passing offense with 157.2 yards per game, while they are 4th in rushing offense by picking up 162.9 yards per contest. Atlanta is 9th in the league in scoring offense with an average of 24.1 points per game and stand 26th in the league by allowing 25 points per contest. Marcus Mariota is 124 of 201 for 1,561 yards with 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He has been sacked 21 times for 146 yards in losses while adding 304 yards plus 3 scores on the ground. Cordarrelle Patterson is second on the team on the ground with 71 carries for 384 yards and 5 scores on the year. Tyler Allgeier, 94 carries, 423 yards, TD, and Caleb Huntley, 64 carries, 299 yards, TD, are also in the mix. Rookie Drake London leads the team with 33 receptions for 369 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. Kyle Pitts, 23 receptions, 285 yards, 2 TD, and Alamides Akos, 22 grabs, 331 yards, 2 TD, are the only other players with more than 150 receiving yards on the year. Younghoe Koo has converted all 22 extra point attempts and 15 of 19 field goal tries, with a long of 54 this season. For the season, the Panthers enter Week 10 28th in the league in passing offense with an average of 184.6 yards per game through the air and 22nd in rushing offense by grinding out 105.3 yards per contest. Carolina is 23rd in the league in scoring offense as they average 19.9 points per game, while they are 29th in the league in scoring defense by allowing 25.3 points per contest. Baker Mayfield has completed 98 of 173 passes for 1,117 yards with 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions while getting sacked 15 times this year. He adds 40 yards and a score on the ground as well. PJ Walker is 53 of 90 for 623 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, plus 25 rushing yards, while Jacob Eason was 3 of 5 for 59 yards and an interception. Sam Darnold, who hasn't played this season after suffering an ankle injury in the preseason finale, has been activated from IR, but Walker will make his 5th consecutive start here. The departed Christian McCaffrey leads the team in the ground game as he has run the ball 85 times for 393 yards plus 2 scores. Chuba Hubbard, 15 carries, 97 yards, TD, and Donta Foreman, 60 carries, 296 yards, 3 TD, have taken over those duties in his absence. In the passing game, DJ Moore leads the team with 35 grabs for 449 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year. McCaffrey contributed 33 receptions for 277 yards plus a score, while the also departed Robbie Anderson, 13 receptions, 206 yards, TD, along with Terrace Marshall, 13 grabs, 201 yards, TD, are the only other players with more than 200 receiving yards this season. Eddie Pinheiro is 15 of 16 on extra points and 14 of 16 on field goal attempts, with a long of 54 on the year. These teams met less than 2 weeks ago in a wild game where the Panthers tied the game on a 62-yard touchdown pass, only to have Moore get flagged for taking his helmet off in the field of play. Pinheiro missed what was a 48-yard extra point attempt in regulation, then missed a 32-yard field goal that would have won it in overtime, giving the Falcons a chance to win it afterwards. Carolina then was pasted by Cincinnati in a game that they seemed ill-prepared to be in, as they trailed 35-0 at the half. Walker was benched after going 3 of 10 for 9 yards with 2 picks in the opening half, but will get the start again here. Look for a lot of the run game, especially with the Falcons, who have had a lot of success in that department this season. Carolina ran for 169 yards in the first meeting, while the Falcons had 167, though that came without Patterson in the mix. The Panthers just seem discombobulated at this point in time, while Atlanta can get back to .500 with a victory. Take the Falcons on the road here as they sweep the season series. Take the Atlanta Falcons -3 points. The Falcons are facing a quick turnaround after their tough home loss to the Chargers, a game they lead heading into the fourth quarter. The Dirty Birds dominated quarter one, assuming a 10-0 lead with a 145-16 total yards advantage. Atlanta rushed for 201 yards in the game, as Tyler Algier ran for 99 yards on 10 carries, and Cordarrelle Patterson returned to action, scoring 2 touchdowns. The Falcons are now behind Tampa Bay in the NFC South standings, with the Bucs owning the tiebreaker advantage. Atlanta narrowly edged the Panthers in the first matchup between these teams less than 2 weeks ago, a game of blunders and missed field goals. Marcus Mariota passed for 253 yards, 3 TDs, and 2 ints in the win, and ran for an additional 43 yards on 6 carries. Despite the 2 interceptions, Mariota was on his game, completing 12 consecutive passes at one point. The passing attack was aided by the re-emergence of tight end Kyle Pitts, who hauled in 5 catches for 80 yards and 1 TD. Even without their leading rusher Patterson, the Dirty Birds rushed for 4.5 yards per carry, as Caleb Huntley led the way with 91 yards. Carolina, 2-2 in its past 4 games, was thoroughly outmatched on Sunday at Cincinnati, heading into the locker room with a 35-0 halftime deficit. In that first half, Panthers QB PJ Walker passed for only 9 yards and was intercepted twice, forcing the coaching staff to bench him in favor of Baker Mayfield. Carolina also let Bengals running back Joe Mixon run wild, becoming the first player with 150-plus yards and 4-plus touchdowns from scrimmage in the first half of a game since Shaun Alexander in 2002. While Baker took over for Walker against Cincy, it appears interim head coach Steve Wilks is sticking with the former XFL QB versus the Falcons, even with Sam Darnold returning from injury this week. Mayfield will serve as the backup despite being healthy yet again, signaling his impending release from the team. In Monday's press conference, Wilks noted the short week and Walker's play in the last matchup versus Atlanta as the deciding factors in his decision to start the 27-year-old. Mixon embarrassed the Panthers' defense on Sunday, leading to the firings of quarterbacks coach Evan Cooper and defensive line coach Paul Pasqualoni. I don't imagine much will change on little rest against the Falcons' dominant rushing attack, and Mariota has been consistently efficient this season when dropping back to pass the ball. I like the over in this game, with the Falcons running wild on offense and giving up some late scores on defense. After all, they are allowing 25.0 points per game, dead last versus the pass, and second worst in total yards surrendered per game. We might see more than one quarterback play for Carolina if the score gets out of hand too soon, in which case I could see Mayfield going all out in garbage time to impress whichever team might be interested in his future services. I'll take the over at 43.5 total points.